Great. Hi, Amanda. Thanks so much for doing this interview.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Amanda, tell us, well, start off, why don't you share your name and your current position in business?
All right, my name is Amanda Singer, and I am co-owner and mediator with San Diego Family Mediation Center, and we do all different family mediation, just mediation though.
Awesome. So you own your own business, focus on doing mediation, and you're a provider. Tell us a little bit more about your business and what you do.
Yeah, so we do, like I said, all different family mediation. So we do get a lot of divorce mediation, but we also do, co-parenting plans. We do blended family mediations, which is something we kind of found that clients wanted and put together. And so when one or both spouses have remarried, it allows both families to come together and have a conversation and work through those issues. And then we also do premarital mediation, marital mediation, and then estate distribution, kind of anything, I always say anything relationship based, we'll do through mediation and help them, depending on what the situation is, help their case or their situation from start to finish.
Right on. So, I've been doing a lot of these interviews lately, and some of the feedback I get from folks is that a lot of the jobs we tend to find as ADR's first career are administrative, more management, more policy, or teaching or training.
Mm-hmm.
But you're doing it. So can you talk a little bit about what your career path was to being able to actually mediate full time and own your own business?
Yeah, so when I went to law school, I applied to only law schools that had ADR programs where I could either do a master's or some kind of certification. So I did my law school at Chapman University in Orange County, and they don't have either of those, but I did my master's in dispute resolution at Pepperdine at their Strauss Institute. And so I did the two concurrently. Chapman does have a really good mediation program, and so I became certified to mediate and mediated in the courts while I was in law school. Had a great mediation professor there who's head of the clinic, and really encouraged me to go this route and do what I wanted to do. So with the Pepperdine, I had my master's from there, and I was able to do internships in ADR. Because what I found really hard in law school was law school would not let me do an internship unless it was under a licensed attorney. And they're not all licensed attorneys. And so I was able to do it through Pepperdine. And I did one, I taught peer mediation courses to middle school students. And then I actually, my now partner with Jennifer, who co-owners and partners, I interned with her for a summer. And I basically sent her a cold email and said, hey, can I work for you for free? And she said, yes, I could definitely. When I met her, we really connected. I thought it would be a great opportunity. And so I interned with her. And then from there, was able to get a job contracting for someone else. And so for about 2.5 years, worked as a mediator, as an independent contractor for someone. And then in the last couple of months, decided that we wanted to focus solely on our own business, and now just doing San Diego Family Mediation and working for ourselves. So I've always been in mediation, but kind of now on my own, which is great.
Yeah, so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what type of, it sounds like you had some professors who were really supportive of the idea of you going into mediation right out of law school. Can you talk a little bit about the advice that you received?
Yeah. So I definitely had some, but I also sadly want to say there were a lot of people that didn't really encourage it. And I think the biggest thing was at the law school, the fact that it wasn't considered an okay externship or an internship or something if it was mediation, unless it was legal based. Like it had to be working for a law firm that did mediation or something. But I had a great professor. His name was David Dowling. He's at Chapman University, and he was amazing. So he had also done his MDR at Pepperdine, and so we connected before I even started law school, and he really helped me kind of figure out how to do the two together, and always said, like, there's no reason why you can't go into it right away. Look for whatever job that, you want, and, like, I think he just made it seem like there was no reason that I couldn't. And even though there was a lot of people out there that keep saying you can't, it kind of was just, no, I want to do this. why not? And I think that that was important because even we would mediate at the courts, like I said, and there'd be other attorneys there and stuff. And they were like, well, you can't just go become a mediator. Like you have to go litigate for 5-10 years and
20, 30, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I didn't want to do that. That's the other thing. I was like, I don't want to litigate. I don't want to do that route. I'm going to make it work.
So what would you say, I don't know, either what advice would you give to others that you think led to your success, or what would you say was the key to your resilience, or, yeah.
I think one of the biggest things was like the fact that I knew I wanted to do mediation and I knew that I wanted to focus on ADR. And so I did that. I have a lot of friends in law school who they kind of flailed a little bit because, I mean, they did well in classes, they may have done internships and things, but they didn't have this, well, this is exactly what I want to do. So I knew I wanted to do mediation. And then once I realized I wanted to do the family mediation side of it, I focused on that. I made sure that I took the right classes to get to the experience, to, mediate and have some court, experience to then get where I needed to go. So I think it's really important, if you do know, to focus as early as you can and come out of law school or come out of any school, because it doesn't have to be law school, showing that you've specialized, because that's what people want to see.
Yeah, I love it. So it means a real sense of passion, dedication, focus, and it's not even the perseverance and persistence, but it's that this is something that you knew that you wanted to do, and so you created the path in order to reach that goal. Yeah. Yeah. But have you had any challenges?
I definitely have. I mean, I think that I swear I go to, so we're in San Diego and I go to some of the county bar events. I go to other kind of lawyers. We have a lawyers club here, which is a more women based legal organization. And I will, no matter what, still go to these events and encounter somebody that says, well, where did you practice before? Or what makes you think that you can mediate if you haven't tried all these cases? And I mean, without fail, I still get it. And I think that I will forever get that. I think that also being fairly young and being a woman, a lot of times I get these from these older white men who just say, oh, well, now I'm mediating, but that's because I worked as a family law attorney for 20 years, so I can do it. And it's a challenge because I never want to put them down either, because I think it's great that everybody is, growing the mediation field and making ADR more obtainable for people. But it's also I have so much experience mediating and direct education in this. And then you see these attorneys or judges that just say, well, I'm retired. What should I do? I'll become a mediator. And I don't think that should be the only way to do it.
Yeah. Right. And we can sort of honor both paths, but as we're trying to demonstrate that this path exists, it's hard when the normative narrative is one of, you retire after many years of practice, and then add on top of it some of the gender issues that you were describing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what would you say brings you joy in doing this type of work? What keeps you going, even with those challenges?
Well, I think that, I love working with people. And so I like the idea that I'm getting to have client interaction and, work with them on a daily basis. And also the fact that especially, being in the family mediation area, it's emotional, I find it interesting, and we're able to help these people going through really difficult times in a little easier way. So for them to understand that litigation isn't the only route to do, and, help families, especially when there's kids involved, really get those parents to understand that they may not be married anymore, but they're going to be co-parenting for the rest of their life. And how do they make that work? And so I think that even though, there's challenges with professionals, that when clients come in, they never question it. They are never wondering, did you litigate? Did you, I get questions, are you licensed? I get questions, do you have a law degree? But to them, I explain that this is what I do 100% of the time. And that's what they want to see. They want someone who's going to walk them through it, sometimes hold their hand, and sometimes be their therapist too.
Well, we were talking a little bit before we started recording, and we're talking about the decision whether or not, as a law school graduate, to go ahead and take the bar, even though you know what you want to do is be a mediator. You decided to go ahead and take the bar and get licensed. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I have to say, like, one of the main reasons I did it is I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. And so it was kind of like, I went through 3 years of law school. Everyone else is taking the bar. I have the time to do it now. I'll do it. I will have to say, I told myself from the get-go, if I didn't pass the first time, I wasn't taking it again, because I knew I didn't need it. And I had a job lined up and I was starting to work once the bar was over. And, you know, I think that, I don't know, I really don't think you need to have it. And I think it's kind of just a personal decision of, do you want to do it or not? And I did it. I have it. I think it's fine. But I also know that I never want to litigate or go to court. But there's also been situations where I have used it. And so I don't think it's bad to have.
Yeah, right on. Right on. I really just appreciate that you have taken the time to share your successes, especially as someone who has been mediating full time and is now running your own business with your partner. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with others about, you know, insights, comments, inspirations for starting out a career in ADR early on?
I think the biggest thing is just, I mean, it's kind of needs to be a change from the top down with like professors and other attorneys and people, but just realizing that you can, and realizing that there's no correct path to take. And, you know, if you really want to do it, finding a way to do that and just finding those connections. I mean, like I said, I sent out cold emails. I wasn't like, you know, didn't know anyone. I just typed in mediation San Diego, family mediation, and I said what came up. And, you know, sometimes it's just taking those risks and doing it. I think especially for me, that this is the time and like the age to do it. I don't have kids. I'm able to, you know, jump to start an own business and really do that. And I think that no matter what age or what point you are in your career, like realizing that there is a way to do it.
Yeah. Right on. Well, I think we'll go ahead and leave it there. Thank you so much, Amanda, for taking the time and, again, sharing your successes. It's really wonderful to hear about your experience in your career path.
Thank you. I'm happy to, and I'm so glad that you've done this.
Right on. Yeah. Well, it's top down. Let's get the word out.
Yes.
Maybe that's bottom up. Let's get the word out.
I don't know.
Thanks so much. Bye.